Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everyday Real English from Real Life Podcast.
Welcome to Real English Podcast.
I'm Annie.
And I'm Brendy. Thanks for joining our deep dive today.
And if you enjoy what we do, please remember to like, subscribe, and maybe share this with your friends. It really helps the Real English Podcast.
So today we're tackling a huge question, one that almost every busy English learner thinks about.
Is there a shortcut? I mean, can your brain really learn English words while you're asleep?
Exactly. So many of you are working, you're studying, and by the end of the day, you just feel completely wiped out.
Mm-hmm. And that idea of learning without any effort while you're just resting, it sounds like, well, it sounds like magic.
It does. But our mission today is to look at the real science. And we'll show you that while it's definitely not magic, using your rest time smartly is one of the most powerful tools you have.
That's so true. We've looked at the research on memory and language, and we've put together a really clear, simple routine for you.
So this deep dive will give you the steps to use your night teacher to help your English vocabulary and your confidence grow faster.
Let's start with what's actually happening in your brain when the lights go out.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
When people say sleep learning, I think they imagine just, downloading information into their brain.
Yeah, like in a movie.
We have to be really clear. You cannot go to sleep knowing zero English and then wake up fluent. That's just not how it works.
Precisely. It's not a replacement for actually studying, but the sleeping brain is incredibly active. It is not off.
And for English learners, understanding that activity is key.
It's everything. Because the main job of sleep is something called memory consolidation.
Consolidation. So like making something solid, how does the brain know which English words to make solid and which ones to, throw away?
Okay. Think of your brain as a librarian working the night shift.
A librarian. I like that.
During the day, you drop this huge pile of books on the counter. New words, new ideas.
Right, and you're too tired to organize them.
Exactly. So at night, the librarian starts sorting. They look at a new English word you studied and say, this is important. This gets a permanent spot on the shelf.
But what about a word you only heard once and didn't really focus on?
The librarian might see that as like junk mail. It just gets recycled. So sleep is what decides which of your memories survive.
So this means if I learn a really useful phrase for work today, my sleep time is when my brain actually locks it in. And if I don't get good sleep, that memory is still fragile. It could just disappear.
Absolutely. You do the work during the day that's planting the seed, but all the important silent growth happens while you rest. The strength of your vocabulary is directly connected to the quality of your sleep after you learn.
This is where things get really interesting because the science gives us some very clear expectations.
Yeah, we have to know the difference between learning something new and just making a memory stronger.
So what should learners absolutely not expect their sleeping brain to do?
Okay, let's break the big myths first. You cannot learn complex skills, things that need your full, deep attention.
Like trying to understand difficult grammar rules.
Exactly. Things like the present perfect tense or conditional clauses. That's just too much for a sleeping brain.
Because you need to be awake to compare things, to
Okay.
think about the logic.
Right. The part of your brain that does that heavy work is mostly quiet during deep sleep. So trying to learn new grammar at night, it just won't work.
So the idea of becoming fluent just by playing audio tapes at night is
Completely unrealistic. Fluency comes from practice, from speaking, writing, making mistakes in real life.
It's like thinking you can learn to ride a bike just by dreaming about it.
Perfect analogy. You have to actually get on the bike.
Okay, so if sleep isn't the teacher, it must be the memory helper. What can it actually do?
It's a powerful helper, especially for vocabulary you just learned. In some studies, they had people learn new words. One group then slept for 12 hours, and the other group stayed awake.
And the difference was big.
It was huge. When asked to remember the meanings of the words, the sleep group did about 11.6% better.
Wow.
And for just recognizing the words, they were 14% better, a 14% boost just from sleeping.
A 14% better memory just by going to bed. That's incredible. But why? What's happening?
The key idea is passive protection.
Passive protection.
Yeah. While you're awake, you hear thousands of other words. You hear your own language. All this new information interferes with the new English words. It's called linguistic interference.
So the world is basically trying to make you forget what you just studied.
In a way, yes. When you sleep right after learning, you put a do not disturb sign on those new memories. Sleep blocks all that interference. It gives your brain the quiet time it needs to save the words properly.
And what about just listening to English softly while you sleep?
That provides something we can call passive improvement. Even if you aren't really learning the meaning, your brain gets used to the sounds. The rhythm of English starts to feel familiar, normal.
And less scary.
Exactly. It lowers that anxiety, which is a huge barrier for a lot of people when they try to speak.
Okay, this gives us a really smart plan.
Yeah.
We're not looking for a miracle.
No.
We're looking for a simple, repeatable routine. So what's the very first step?
The first step is your environment. Before you even touch your phone or audio player, you have to calm your body and your mind.
No stress. No scrolling on your phone right before bed.
Exactly. A stressed brain won't learn. It will fight the process. You want your brain to be receptive, not reactive.
Okay, so you're calm, you're ready for bed. What kind of audio should you choose? Something new and exciting.
Absolutely not new. The audio must be familiar. It has to be a short story or some phrases that you already studied during the day.
So you already understand them perfectly?
Perfectly. If you play something new or difficult, your brain treats it like an alarm clock. It can actually hurt your sleep.
And because we're trying to make those memory connections stronger, repetition is key.
It is the most important part. You should listen to the same short audio loop for 3 to 5 nights in a row. You're telling your brain again and again, hey, this is important. Save this.
Okay, now for the really practical details. Volume. How loud should it be?
This is critical. The volume must be very, very low.
Like a whisper.
Yes, or like the sound of soft rain outside. You should barely be able to hear it. If the audio wakes you up, it's doing more harm than good.
And you have to use a timer, I assume? You don't leave it on all night?
Yes, definitely use a timer, only for 30 to 60 minutes. Most of the important memory work happens in the first part of the night. Playing audio all night can disturb your deep sleep later on.
I remember reading something about your emotional state, too. Like feeling positive before sleep.
Yes, if you smile while you're reviewing the phrases, or if the story makes you feel happy and calm, your brain creates a stronger memory. Positive feelings tell the brain, this is good, this is worth keeping.
Okay, let's do a quick role play. My turn.
All right, walk me through your plan for tonight.
Okay. Before I sleep, I will listen to the same short English story I read today.
Excellent idea.
I'll set a timer for 45 minutes and keep the volume really, really quiet.
Perfect. Play it quietly and just let the words sink in gently, like soft rain. You're making sure those memories are protected.
And all this is great, but the real goal is to actually speak better. Right?
Of course. That's what makes this whole thing worth doing. Speaking with fluency.
So how does this quiet nighttime listening help me speak faster and more clearly the next day?
Well, fluency isn't just knowing a lot of words. It's about the words coming out automatically, without thinking. When you hear useful sentences over and over again during the day and then gently at night, your brain learns the pattern. It absorbs the whole sentence structure, not just the individual words.
So the words are kind of pre-packaged in the right order, ready to go.
Exactly. So when you try to speak the next day, instead of struggling to build a sentence like, okay, verb now adjective, your brain just says, oh, I know this sound. I heard this pattern all night.
And the words just come out more smoothly.
Much faster and more naturally. That's automaticity.
And that must be a huge confidence boost. For me, that's often the biggest problem, the fear of making a mistake.
It's probably the single biggest benefit. When English sounds familiar because your sleeping brain has accepted it, your fear gets smaller.
Your brain stops thinking, this is hard, this is scary.
Right. It starts thinking, this is normal, I know this. Sleep learning quietly makes your fear smaller and your confidence much, much bigger.
It's amazing to think that even when we feel so wiped out, so tired, our brain is still working for us.
As long as you set it up for success, it's the ultimate way to study smart, not just hard.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's quickly review the important vocabulary we used today.
Good idea. First, we talked about using familiar audio. That means something you already know well. So remember, we must use familiar stories at night.
We also talked a lot about repetition. That's doing something again and again. Repetition makes English words strong.
And we mentioned feeling wiped out. That just means very, very tired. After a long day of study, it's normal to feel wiped out.
And finally, the goal of all this, building your confidence. That's the strong feeling that you can do something. This technique can really help build your speaking confidence.
Okay, I think we have a few questions for a mini quiz. Are you ready?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, question 1. True or false? You should listen to new, difficult podcasts while you sleep.
Oh, that is definitely false. You need to use familiar, easy content that you already understand.
Perfect. Okay, question 2. What is better for your memory? Learning new words and then staying awake for 12 hours, or learning new words and then sleeping?
That's an easy one now. Sleeping. Sleeping is much, much better for protecting your memory.
Exactly right. Last question. Should the audio volume be loud or low?
It has to be very, very low, like soft rain. Quiet enough so that it doesn't wake you up.
You got 'em all? Fantastic.
So just remember, your English will grow quietly and steadily. You don't need magic. You just need a smart plan that includes good rest.
Combine your focused study in the day with this gentle review at night. It's a powerful way to make all your hard work pay off.
And we have a free PDF worksheet for you. It has all the steps for this routine and the vocabulary we just reviewed. You can use it to get started tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. Try the soft listening technique tonight. Just choose one simple phrase, set your timer, and let your night teacher get to work.
We promise more great lessons on the Real English podcast very soon.
Keep learning, keep resting, and we'll talk to you next time.